Hello, and welcome to the webinar for how to get certified in Cal eProcure. Thank you for joining us. My name is Kimberly. I am an instructor here with California Procurement and Contracting Academy, or Cal PCA, here at Department of General Services. Today is February 17th, 2016, and it is now 11 a.m. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar, as I know your time is valuable. This webinar is about getting certified in Cal eProcure as a small business or a disabled veteran business, or DVBE, which is a new online portal designed to improve the experience of business selling products and services to the state of California. Cal eProcure is the portal for the new financial information system state that the state is rolling out called Fiscal. This new site replaces the old portal, BidSync, giving businesses access to bidding and contracting resources in one location. Cal eProcure is user-friendly and has been designed with smart technology in mind, meaning it will work on a mobile phone or tablets alike. Before we get into the webinar, I would like you to take notice to the control panel on your screen if you're at a computer. If you expand that control panel, you will see a list of options there. One option is handouts. If you click on the plus sign by the handouts, you will see attached resource documents for today. If you haven't done so already, please download and save them now. The resource documents include links, web addresses, and office contacts that we will refer to throughout the webinar. If you are on a smartphone, it can be accessed by a page icon. There's also another icon over there called the Questions tab. And today, answering the questions is Joseph Watkins. Let's see, is his camera available? There he is. Hey, Joseph.
Well, thanks, Kimberly. Like Kimberly said, on the side panel, the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen, there's a tab labeled Questions. And if you open up that tab, it will show you a little field that allows you to enter in your questions. Uh, we'll not do that on camera for the most part. I'll just type the answers for you here. Hope that's doable for you. Uh, don't save your questions till the very end if you would. Go ahead, and when the question pops in your mind, go ahead and ask it and we'll get it handled, okay? I'll do my best to respond directly to you, and if it doesn't happen in real time, then we'll get it to you by email. We'll find a way. That's my pledge to you. All right, Joseph, back to Kimberly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. So basically, this webinar will take you through the steps of certifying as a small business and or disabled veteran business enterprise. Taking us through this process today is Brooke Droge. Brooke is a certification officer with the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services, or OSDS. As a certification officer, Brooke reviews certification applications that are submitted along with all the required documentation to help businesses get certified as quickly as possible. She also provides information about SB DVBE program to businesses looking to educate themselves about that program. As a bit of a background for everyone, Brooke is also an involved member of a nonprofit organization called Active 20 to 30 that raises money for Sacramento area nonprofits and partners with a variety of small businesses to engage youth in the community. Prior to working for OSDS, Brooke was a communication studies instructor at California State University, Sacramento, and various Sacramento community colleges. Brooke still teaches at a community college class at night while being a full-time student or while being a full-time state employee because she loves teaching and thinks it is important work. Brooke ran this year's Office of Small Business Customer Service Week, a week-long celebration of providing great customer service to our SB DVBE firms. As you can tell, she is focused on ensuring SBs and DVBEs get certified and start doing business with the state of California. Now I'm going to hand it over to Brooke.
All right, good morning and thank you for the warm introduction. As was just said, I'm going to be walking you through the process of certifying as a small business or disabled veteran business enterprise. I'm going to do my best to keep it simple and clear, and we will get through it together. So by now you should be registered with Cal eProcure. If you're not, you can't go ahead and get certified until you've done that registration. We do have another webinar that covers the registration process, which I highly recommend. But let's, for the purposes of today, assume that you're registered and we can go ahead and get started with the certification process. So the website you need to go to is here on the screen. It's the caleprocure.ca.gov. And since we're assuming that you've already registered, you should have a user ID and password. So when you're ready to get certified, you'll input those and click login. Alright, so once you're logged in, you'll know you're logged in when in the upper right hand corner there, you'll actually see your user ID instead of the words login register. So that's your indicator that you did it right. And then when you're ready to start the certification process, you're going to click on that link that we have circled. Let's see, which says small business. Let's see, sorry, we've got some lag going on. It says small business, disabled veteran business enterprise, and that's where you're going to go to start the certification application. So once you click there, you'll see this screen, and we've made the link nice and big there on the left hand side where it says click here to get certified. The information on the right hand side is a variety of information about our certification programs. Down there at the bottom where it says communications and outreach, there's some links there that might interest you. Maybe once you're certified and you sort of want to test the waters for doing business with the state, or you're interested in going to an outreach program. But for today, we're going to go ahead and focus on the actual certification application. So you're going to click there where we have circled where it says click here to get certified. Alright, so once you've said yes, I want to start the certification process, it's going to take you to this page that lets you select what you would like to be certified as. You can see there that the options are small business, which is SB, disabled veteran business enterprise, which is DVBE, NVSA, which is a nonprofit veteran service agency, or NP, which is part of our nonprofit recognition program. For the purposes of today, I'm not going to cover NVSA and NP. We're going to try and put up a webinar, hopefully in the future, covering those. For today, we're going to focus on the SB DVBE program. You are probably going to hear me say that a bunch. I'm not going to say small business, disabled veteran business enterprise every time. It's a mouthful. So, SB DVBE. Obviously, if you are just a small business and not a disabled veteran business enterprise, you would only click the box that says SB. For the purposes of the webinar, I'm going to show you both in case both apply to you, or in the future if you would like to apply for DVBE. So I selected the two that I would like to be certified as, and then you go ahead and you click next. Alright, so that will bring you to the eligibility questions. These questions are essentially just making sure that you meet our program requirements. You can see there at the top that these are the eligibility questions for small business certification. So you would go ahead, read through each question carefully, and answer it yes or no. If you are applying for the DVBE certification, when you scroll down, you would see DVBE eligibility questions. Same thing, read through them carefully and answer them yes or no. And once you've answered all the questions, you'll go ahead and click next. Alright, so assuming that you met the eligibility requirements, it will bring you to the terms and conditions page. You'll see there at the top that you have been assigned a certification ID number. This number is important. You should definitely write it down or put it in a Word document or somewhere where you'll keep it safe. It is a number that is uniquely assigned to your business, that if you were going to go for a bid and they asked you what your small business or DVBE certification number was, that's your number. And then under there it says the certification types that you're about to apply for. And then you're going to go ahead and read through the terms and conditions. If you agree with them, you can go ahead and click the I accept the terms box at the bottom left hand corner and click next. Alright, so we've made it to the actual application. You can see at the top that there are 6 tabs or 6 pages that we're going to go through. Registration, business, owners, employee taxes, other, and attachment. So I'm going to just walk you through each one of those 6 steps, which together make the entire application. So this first page we're on is called the registration page, and this is a lot of basic information about your business. The really nice thing is, since you've already registered, most of your business's information should just auto-populate into the certification application, but I really encourage you to look through, double check everything came in correctly, and make sure that you've answered all the questions that have a red asterisk next to them, as those are required, and if you don't answer them, it's not going to let you move on to the next page. So there at the top we have either your federal employer ID number or your social security number, depending on what you registered with. We need you to put in your business name, a phone number, you can put in your business website if you have one, and then you need to answer the question that says, I approve the sharing of my certification information with other government and local agencies for the purpose of participating in their business certification programs. So this would be something you would click yes, so that you can do business with the state, or if you decide to do business with a state reciprocity partner, which I will cover what that is later, they're going to want access to your information. Then underneath there we need some contact information, so a person that if we were going to call your business that you would want us to ask for, maybe the person who's in charge of your certification. An email address. The email address is very important. That is one of the primary ways that us at the Office of Small Business send you letters, send you information, get a hold of you. So make sure it's an email address that is easily accessible, possibly to more than one person, or a person that is definitely going to be around. And then a telephone number. Then at the bottom, we're going to need your mailing address and permanent address. So the mailing address can be a P.O. box, but the permanent address needs to be a physical address. If the two addresses are the same, really easy, just click the box in the permanent address box that says same as mailing address, and it'll automatically populate in. Then you'll go ahead and click save and continue, and we'll move on to the next page. Alright, so the next page is called the business page. There at the top, we want to gather some information about your industry type. So basically what kind of business you are. So we have some questions to determine which of the 4 industry types you might qualify for. So we have construction, manufacturer, non-manufacturer, and service. So if you answer a question, you may see a pop-up that looks like this that says you are qualified for service industry type. Once that pop-up happens, you'll see that the box that says service underneath the industry type questions will automatically be checked, and that's how you know that it went ahead and verified that that is what you qualify for. If you say yes to holding a contractor's license, we are going to ask you for your license number, who your qualifier is on your contractor's license, and what type of qualifier they are, as well as what type of contractor's license it is. If you answer yes to being a non-manufacturer or a reseller or distributor or wholesaler, we are going to need your reseller's permit number. And after you have determined your industry type, we're going to go down to the business information. So we want to know what type of ownership structure your business has. So where it says ownership type, if you click on the magnifying glass, you'll get a list of options. The options available are corporation, joint venture, limited liability company, LLC, limited liability partnership, LLP, partnership, or sole proprietorship. So go ahead and pick the one that matches your business structure, and remember that the one you select is going to determine some of the supporting documentation that we ask for at the end. So make sure you pick the correct one that is reflected in the documents that you have for your business. So you can see here that I selected sole proprietorship. We also want to know what day your business started, what month your tax year begins in, if your business structure changed in the last 3 years. So that would mean if your business used to be a sole proprietorship and turned into a corporation, or was a corporation and is now an LLC. That's a business structure change. And then if the firm is a franchise. Then underneath there we have some questions. First we have some ownership questions. Those will be seen only if you're doing the DVBE application. Then we have some affiliate questions for the small business application. The affiliate questions are essentially asking if you have, maybe you own another business, or you have a family member that owns a similar business to you, or you share facilities or employees with another business. We just want to gain an understanding of what different businesses you're involved in. And then underneath there will be some more DVBE operational control questions, again only if you're applying for DVBE, and depending on your ownership type you might have some more questions underneath there. So same thing, just read through the questions carefully, answer them yes or no, and after you've answered all the questions you can click save and continue at the bottom. Alright, so that brings us to the third tab, which is the owners tab. So we want to know who the owners of the business are. So we're going to need names, ownership percentages, ownership type. The options for ownership type are generally individual or business. You are an individual owner unless the owner itself is a business. If you're doing the DVBE certification, you need to select which owner is the DVBE qualifier, so which owner is the disabled veteran, and the owner's home address. Don't worry, the home address is not going to be publicly viewed. We just need to verify that all the owners are domiciled in the state of California. So if there's multiple owners, you can go ahead and click the plus sign add owner there at the bottom and add as many as you want. Make sure the ownership percentages add up to 100, and make sure that any supporting documentation you have, such as tax returns or corporate meeting minutes, whatever your business structure is, supports those ownership percentages. Alright, once you've added in all the owners, you can go ahead, you'll click save and continue, and we'll move on to the fourth tab, which is the employee and taxes tab. So there in the upper left hand corner, the first question we want to know is how many employees work for your business. So we want you to tell us the average number of employees you've had over the last 4 quarters or last calendar year. If your business hasn't been open a year yet, just tell us the average number you've had for the time you're available. Remember that employees, our definition of employees, are employees who you file quarterly wage reports with EDD. So if you yourself, let's say, are a sole proprietorship and you are the only employee for your business, if you don't file those quarterly wage reports for yourself, you would go ahead and leave it at 0 employees. So that's sort of how you determine the number. Then after you fill out how many employees your business has, we want some information about your GARs, or your gross annual receipts. So we generally would like to know your gross annual receipts from the last 3 years. Currently it is asking for 2015 gross annual receipts. If you don't have those yet, or you haven't done your taxes yet for 2015, that's totally understandable. You can leave it as 0 and it'll average out your 2013 and 2012 gross annual receipts. If for some reason you haven't been open the last 3 years, that's why we ask you the date your business started. It should automatically know what years to ask you for. So, you be prepared for that. Once you have input the information that you do have, you can click update and it will give you an average total and a grand total amount. Double check that, make sure it gave you that update, and then you'll click save and continue. Alright, so that brings us to the 5th tab, which is the tab marked Other. Most of the information on this page is information that is going to help you learn about state bids and allow other businesses to search for you. So up there in the upper left hand corner, the first question we want to know is what service areas is your business willing to do work in within the state of California. So we've got them broken down by California counties. So if you are comfortable doing work in any county in California, you can actually just click the box that says to select all service areas, click here. Once you do that, all California counties in alphabetical order will be populated on your page. If you would like to pick specific counties to do work in, that's totally fine. You'll click the Look Up Service Area box, and individually, one by one, you'll click on the California counties that you would like to do work in, and they will be added under the Service Area section. So you can see here I selected only 2 counties, Sacramento and Yolo County. You can select as many or as few as you would like. It's completely up to you. The next section we'll cover is the one right underneath there that says UNSPSC classifications. These are actually the way that you're going to get alerted for bids, so I really encourage you to try and find as many UNSPSC codes that match your business and what your business does. So what you're going to do is click on the little magnifying glass to the right where it says Add UNSPSC Classification, and it'll give you this little pop-up. Where it says description begins with, I like to change that to contains. It's going to give you more search parameters, and then you're going to put in keywords. Any UNSPSC codes that match those keywords will populate underneath there, and you can just again select them one by one, and once you click on it, it'll populate in that box that says Add UNSPSC Classification, and then you'll hit the plus sign and it'll drop down below as a selected option, and you can just continue to do that. If you want to maybe do some research ahead of time of what UNSPSC classifications might match your business, there's actually a website, unspsc.org, and sometimes it's easier to just go on there, write down the codes that you want to put, and then you can actually just type the actual code into that box, hit the plus sign, and they'll automatically drop down. Alright, the next section in the upper right hand corner is the keywords section. So this is again another way to search for businesses is by the keywords that they use to describe their business. So you can put in a keyword or key phrase, hit the plus sign, it'll drop down, and you can just continue to add in the keywords and key phrases. Another thing that's really nice about this is you can always come back in later after you're certified and add or delete any UNSPSC codes or add or delete any keywords. So don't feel like whatever you put in while you're filling out the application is the end all be all, you can never go back. No, it's very easy to go back in. You'll just, once you're certified, you'll have a button on your supplier profile that says amend, and you can go back in and make those changes. The last question on this page is in the little box on the lower right hand side that says various data, and it says, do you have a bid due date within the next 30 business days? So what this question is asking is, do you have a bid due with either the state of California, so a state department, or a state of California reciprocity partner? A reciprocity partner, which earlier I told you I would tell you what that was, is a non-state entity such as a county, city, utility district that has made an agreement with the state of California that they will accept either our small business or DVBE certifications. So they're going to want you to have that certification for their bids that are due. So if you meet that requirement that you have a bid due date within the next 30 days, please click yes. Just know that when we go to the last tab, the next tab, where we have you upload attachments, we are going to ask for proof of the bid due date. And once you provide us with that proof of bid due date, we will do our best to expedite your application so that it is ready to go by the time that your bid is due. Alright, so that is the other tab, and now we're going to move on to the last tab. You'll go ahead and click Save and Continue. And we are at the Attachment tab. So as I warned earlier, we do ask for supporting documentation, and the documents that we ask for are based on the ways that you have answered questions in the 5 previous tabs. So make sure that when you're going through the tabs, you complete each tab before you move on to the next one, because it will impact what attachments are asked for at the end. So you can see here this first attachment that the system is asking for is for a tax ID number verification document. So you would go ahead and click the Add Attachment there in the circle with the plus sign, and it'll take you here. You'll click Browse, you'll find where it is digitally stored on your computer. It'll populate into that box, and then you click Upload. And then you're basically just going to go through each one of these attachments, clicking add attachment, uploading it. There's two boxes there under file name. One says description and one says comments. You can use these if you feel the need, although it is not required. The only requirement is that you upload an attachment for every single one of these boxes that we're asking for. Okay, so once you get to the bottom and you've uploaded something for all the attachments, there's that plus sign at the bottom. That's only if you feel like you need to upload something else. It's generally not necessary, but if you think that we didn't ask for something that we should have, feel free to upload it. It won't hurt your certification. It just may not be necessary. So again, make sure that you upload something for every single one, because you cannot actually submit your application with an empty attachment box. So making sure that they're all done, you can go ahead and click at the bottom, submit application. We're almost done. And that'll take you to the penalty of perjury page. Read through it. If you accept the conditions, you can click that box in the lower left-hand corner and click OK. And so that will take you to this page. The title is Notice, but really what this page is telling you is sort of the status of your certification. So you can see here, since we applied for DVBE and SB certification, it says the DVBE application is submitted for review. So if you see a status that says submitted for review or waiting for review, what that means is that we have received it and it is going to be looked at by a certification officer in the Office of Small Business, someone like myself. They're just going to look through your application, look at your supporting documentation. Maybe we'll reach out and ask for something else, or perhaps you'll just get a letter saying that you've been approved. The other status on this page is that the SB certification has been auto-approved. So what that means is that you, based on your answers in your application, have been automatically certified. So if you go ahead and click OK, it'll actually take you to your supplier profile. Again, there at the top you see your certification ID number, the number I told you that was important, and you'll see some basic contact information about your business, just business name, phone number, your mailing address that you selected, the email address that you selected. And if you clicked on the view keywords or view classifications links there, it would show you the keywords you chose and the UNSPSC classifications that you chose. Then there at the bottom, it has a box called Active Certifications, and you can see there the DVBE application is waiting for review, and the small business certification has been approved, and it actually says the dates that the certification is good for, so you can see that it was certified for 2 years automatically. I really recommend you put some sort of, if you use Outlook or a calendar or on your phone, a reminder of when your certification is going to lapse, because you need to renew it before it lapses. You don't want to wait until after. All right, and so if your status goes to waiting for review and you get an email from us with a letter saying that you've been approved, it might look something like this. It'll definitely have your certification ID number and your business contact information at the top, and then it'll give you directions on how to access your proof of certification, which I'm going to go back one. So up there in the upper right hand corner where you see your user ID, if at any time you want to view or make changes to your certification profile, amend your keywords, you want to change your contact email, anything like that, if you click on your username in the upper right hand corner, there'll be a drop down box, and one of the options will say view certification profile. You'll go there and there'll be an option on that page once you have an active certification that says amend. Another thing is that if you're working on your application and at any time you have to step away, make sure you click save and continue or save and exit. And then if you want to resume where you left off, again, you'll click on your username in the upper right hand corner, view certification profile, and there'll be an option that says continue, and it'll take you to where you left off in your application. I know sometimes people have to go make digital copies of their documents or just go find out more information about their business. So don't worry, you don't have to do it all in one go. You're allowed to do it in increments. All right. So that is basically the process. I hope that was straightforward for you. If at any time during the process you get stuck, you have a question, you're not quite sure how to proceed, please give us a call or send us an email at the Office of Small Business. There are great people there who are willing to answer any questions you might have. Our phone number is that one right in front of you, the 916-375-4940. Or if it's just a quick question, you just want to shoot us an email, go ahead and send us an email at the osdshelp@dgs.ca.gov. I hope that you are all ready to get certified now and do business with the state of California. Thank you.
So basically, I hope that today's webinar has helped you understand getting certified as a small business or a disabled veteran business enterprise in Cal eProcure. At this point, I bet you're asking, what now? For more information on getting certified, um, you can actually find it on the Cal eProcure website, along with additional webinars covering viewing event invitations, submitting an electronic bid response, posting and viewing vendor ads, searching for purchasing documents as a supplier, searching for other small business and DVBE, and also questions and answers. Please feel free to register for any of these webinars and attend as many as you like. Um, although Cal e Although Cal PCA is offering informational webinars, there are also the user productivity kits that offers hands-on modules focused on key specific tasks in Cal eProcure. And you can find those under the help and access training. The UPKs are self-guided and aimed towards providing extra help and getting answers you may need. To access those links to our web-based training, you can either find them on the Cal eProcure or on the Cal PCA website. As a friendly reminder, please download and save the attachments in the handout section of this webinar. If you are in the Sacramento area, there will also be speaking events and live questions and answers forums held right at the Ziggurat building. The calendar of events attached includes links to register for classes. All you have to do is click on the link of the slot that you wish to register for, and that'll take you right to registration. If you have any questions or are experiencing any issues in Cal eProcure, please contact Fiscal Service Center at 1-855-421-6355. That is a toll-free telephone number. They also have an email address. Their email is vendors@fiscal.ca.gov. And when typing in that email address, make sure to use an S instead of a $sign. So we appreciate you attending today's presentation. When I end the webinar, we ask that you complete the short survey, as your feedback is definitely important to us. We look forward to seeing you either online or in class. It looks like there's still a couple of questions, so although you won't see video or hear audio, you can still send in your questions for about the next 5 minutes.